Wow. I mean, Shark Week just keeps getting more and more intense every year. Now, it has been 5 years since The Meg became a box office sensation.
Yeah, jellyfish.
And pretty much made us all weary about swimming in the ocean. Again. But how cool is it that there's finally a movie about the most famous prehistoric shark that was 60 feet long, the Megalodon. So my friends, do not forget your floaties because this is everything you need to know before you go see Meg 2, The Trench. Let's do a recap of the Meg, shall we?
I'm gonna make this thing bleed.
So the first film in the series, 2018's The Meg, is loosely based on the 1997 novel Meg, a Novel of Deep Terror. In the movie, Jason Statham stars as a diver named Jonas Taylor who specializes in deep-sea rescues. He also happens to be a down-and-out drunk and has to be recruited to help save a group of scientists, including his ex-wife, whose submersible is stranded underwater. Now, when he gets down there, he discovers what has been causing everyone so many issues.
It's a megalodon.
He's kidding, right?
Just, a little prehistoric species of giant shark called the Megalodon, or Meg, which is honestly such a cute name given to such a ginormous creature. Now, of course, after nearly dying trying to successfully poison the Meg, he encounters an even bigger one down there that also has to be dealt with, which he does. I mean, it kind of feels like Jason Statham can save the world. And I gotta say, in what was a pretty smart move, filmmakers actually left the door open for a sequel at the end, giving the viewer the impression that not all the Megs are gone. Dun dun dun. Sorry, I was trying to be scary. The Meg is rotten on the tomato meter, with critics saying it, quote, lacks the genre thrills to make it worth diving in. But what it didn't lack was the ability to draw large crowds, pulling in over $530 million at the worldwide box office and paving the way for a sequel.
Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
So who is diving in for more? These puns are just A+ today.
Just a little bit.
Now, for this installment, we will once again get to see Jason Statham in the lead role as Jonas Taylor. And while the rest of the cast is mostly new faces, we will see Cliff Curtis reprise his role as Mac, who is basically like the boss of the underwater missions. And we're also going to get to see Paige Kennedy returning as an engineer named DJ, and Sophia Kai, who played the daughter of an oceanographer in the first film, played by Lee Bingbing. Now, while Kai is returning, Bingbing is not.
What happened last time?
You don't want to know.
And I know what you're thinking. All right, Naz, we know who's in this movie, but what is it about?
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
Why on earth would anyone jump back in the water for more? Well, first of all, Meg 2, The Trench, actually also happens to be based on a Steve Alten book, 1999's The Trench. And the film studio Synopsis promises, quote, higher heights, greater depths, and multiple massive Megs. I mean, that's got to be my favorite alliteration I've ever said reading a script.
We've got company.
This time around, Statham's Jonas Taylor is taking a research team on an exploratory dive into the deepest depths of the ocean, just for fun. But not only do they encounter more Megs and potentially other giant prehistoric sea creatures during this trip, Jonas and his team also find themselves going up against a malicious mining operation that is threatening their mission too.
This place, Meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
So let's go behind the scenes for a second.
The Megs are evolving.
Never seen this before. They're hunted in packs.
As far as who brought this Meg to life behind the scenes, it starts with director Benjamin Wheatley. The English filmmaker and screenwriter brings a great combo of skills for this movie, having worked on psychological thrillers like Kill List and A Field in England, along with the adaptation High Rise with Tom Hiddleston and the action comedy Free Fire with Brie Larson. I mean, dude's got range. And while this is Wheatley's first foray into the world of the Meg, the film's screenplay writers John Hober, Eric Hober, and Dean Georgaris were also credited for writing the first installment, so you gotta love a little continuity, baby.
Chew on this, you ugly.
Plus, we cannot forget producer extraordinaire Lorenzo de Bonaventura. I mean, with a name like that, who could forget him? He's going to be behind this sequel after also producing the first. And he is best known for producing the G.I. Joe and Transformers film series. So, I mean, goes without saying he knows a thing or two about money-making action flicks, am I right?
Everybody make it to the station! You can make it! Hit 9!
All right, my friends, that's everything you need to know before you go see Meg to the Trench in theaters August 4th. Mark your calendars. My name's Naz Perez. Thanks for watching, and be sure to rate and review this film at RottenTomatoes.com.